Our journey this week starts at Wrigley's Marina in Slidell. Here you'll find some impressive fish mounts decorating the walls. A closer look reveals one of the heaviest specks weighed in Louisiana.
Wow, just think about it. My fish was caught 22 years ago already. I mean, Leon's fish was 50 years old when he caught his. A lot of people in Louisiana do claim my fish to be, #1 in the state.
Traveling just a couple of miles down the road along Salt Bayou, we meet Captain Kenny Kreeger, the man behind this catch of a lifetime.
$1999 Super Bowl Sunday. Well, I woke up that morning, it was 26 degrees. The wind was blowing 15 to 20 out the northwest. I hooked up the boat and I went down to Tights Marina. Nobody there. I was the only boat that backed down the ramp and launched. I headed out to the old Highway 11 bridge, kind of protected a little bit from the wind. I made 3 or 4 casts, and my first hit was very, very slight. I mean, it was so cold, you could barely feel that bump. I set the hook on, it was a 5-pound trout. The water was filthy dirty. I was always told you can't catch trout in dirty water, but there it was. Made 3 or 4 more casts, 4-pound fish. 3 or 4 more casts, 5-pound fish. I just kept working my way down the bridge. On my 13th fish, I felt a little thump. I leaned back and set the hook, and that rod just doubled over. So I'm fighting this fish, trying to get it to the boat. The fish made a pass on the side of the boat about a foot under the water, and all I could see was a shadow. And I seen almost 3 foot long. I'm thinking, man, this got to be a gallfish or whatever. But when she went to the front of the boat, I just leaned back on her. She came and she opened that big yellow mouth, and she started shaking that head on top of the water, but she was so big it looked like slow motion. Fight the fish to the boat. I get the net under her. I'm holding the rod up. I get her in the net. I'm trying to lift her up out the water. She jumps straight up out the net and hits the water like a torpedo. And nothing but drag going out. Okay, everything starts shaking on me. Legs start shaking, hands start shaking. Now I'm starting to talk to the Lord. Please, Lord, let me get it back to the boat one more time. So I get it back to the boat, I get the net under, I'm thinking I gotta do something different. I started to lift her up out the water, I didn't even look. I just threw the pole to the bottom of the boat, grabbed the net with 2 hands, flipped her in. She went down on the floor, I sat down. I was so exhausted, my adrenaline was pumping, my heart was racing, my hands were shaking. I'm just sitting there looking at that fish on the floor and could not believe how big that fish was.
Well, Kenny Kreeger's Speckled Trout brings back a lot of memories for me. I got a call that night, it was Super Bowl Sunday, and I drove to his house. I said, we got to get a picture of this fish. And before you know it, it was recognized as the #2, and arguably a lot of people believe that it is actually the #1 speckled trout ever caught.
Later on that year, I bought me a ticket in the Star Tournament Rodeo, the CCA Rodeo, caught tag redfish. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And after I caught the tag redfish, I had 2 charter boat captains. Both of them came to me and said, Kenny, you got the recognition from your speckled trout. Now you can go out there and you win a brand new boat motor and trailer. Hey man, it's time you get your captain's license and start chartering.
Coming up next, learn how Captain Kenny Kreeger went from being a name synonymous with speckled trout to a man now known as the Sheep's Head Whisperer.
So I built my reputation on sheephead. Some captains chase trout, some captains chase redfish. I chase fish. Whatever's biting, that's what I go after. I know I always catch a boatload of sheephead.